Hello and welcome. This is A King's Tale, Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy XV maybe. I'm Reprobategamer, and King's Tale, Final Fantasy 15 I believe, was a timed exclusive for those who either pre-ordered Final Fantasy 15 or those who got it early on. And this has since been released for in the general world from, I believe, March 1st, 2017. You can see already from the names of all the companies who are appearing up on the screen that this is a retro styled game, and it is aimed in the style of Final Fantasy, Dragon Axe. Oh, hello volume. It is meant to be set some 30 years prior to Final Fantasy 15, and is pretty much made up. Let's get the music volume down, shall we? Oh, that's better. There we go. So yes, King's Tale is... I'm not giving away much when I say it is Noctis' father, Noctis being the principal character of Final Fantasy 15, basically giving him a bedtime story about cutting up and slaying all manner of people, demons, and other Final Fantasy regular creatures. So, which is an interesting choice for a fairy tale. Didn't think we'd go in full Brothers Grimm, but you know, it goes that way. So just flicking through here, you'll see there's 20 pages of notes in this game. I speed up going through this in a bit because none of this is going to sink in my head. There are combos, there are different... The magic is an option. You get... you can call in people to assist you. You have the Armiger for the bonds of battle. And then there's all the different enemy types and what they do and when they block and what you have to do with them. And... yeah... You can see like on the red skeletons, if you hit X, they will counter attack you. If you use a heavy attack, they'll block you. So you have to open the guard of the shield. I believe, I could be wrong, that this is actually the order in which the enemies arrive. Certainly wasn't the bit that I played. And I'm sure that should be in Final Fantasy 7 and not part of this. But I think they're just picking and mixing where they want these things from. So when I finally get through all 20 pages of these various notes from this game, we'll get into it. We'll show off the first couple of levels, and you'll see how the thing plays. So it is a single player, to my knowledge. Ouch! I forgot about that because I didn't save the changes. Even though I went into the how to play screen, it whacked it all the way back up to top level. Blooming ridiculous, that. If I go away from that page, I want you to ask me if I want to save the changes, please. But whatever, fine. Go for it. So I possibly should have gone for casual on this one just to actually show off the story, but I haven't played Final Fantasy 15, so it doesn't really bother me. So Regis is the father, the king. Noctis is our young prince, looking forward to a nice, soothing, relaxing story about hacking and slashing. Doesn't say much for his mental state, really, does it? Okay. And pretty much, look, says the boy, I'm making up as I go along. Says Regis. What did I want to do 30 years ago? And a town called Insomnia. Really? Just a place called Insomnia? Just a ridiculous name. Still, I mean, it's retro style, but you can tell by the effects going on that this is very much done with modern graphics techniques going on, and they're pretending to make it look 16-bit or 32-bit. I presume these names make more sense if you've actually ever, played the main game, because they certainly don't make any sense to me, who Esk and Wreckham and whatnot are. So we've got 20 pages of notes. They still make you sit through the blooming introductory bits anyway. And it'll block you until you actually read all these bits. So there you can see some combo strikes going in. I'm not entirely certain where he's meant to pull that shield out from, really, to be honest, but presumably he's got a bit of hammer space going on there. It's a fighting game, isn't it, really? Oh, he got me that one. And that's all these things. The health disappears if you don't get to it in time. I might be wrong, I'll see through in the videos we go through it, but it didn't seem to be consistent about when you were able to use your light attack and when you could use your heavy attack. I have to say, I may have just been misreading about when things are meant to apply, but it seemed like I could use any attack on these guys and I wasn't meant to be able to. But it's possible I was saying maybe just like mix up the colours or something rather than actually paying attention to where I could use any particular attack. No, those are monsters, they're Ronin. They're humans. They're not monsters, they're humans. Monsters are a bit of, especially considering who the other enemies are who are coming up, it's a bit hard to call them monsters. I quite how you can do like triple and quadruple hits that way, where I'm hitting people who are miles away. It's always kind of the issue on these games is the hitbox detection. It was always off in the 90s and it's off in this game as well. Sometimes you think absolutely that you should have got them, and sometimes you're there going, what, really, how? On the plus side, they don't seem to be able to stun lock you, at least. And then they enter in rising attacks. Nowhere up to this point have they mentioned rising attacks. So this... There you go. I hit him from behind. Why? There you go. So until you do the thing it's asking you to do, go thump. The notes stay up on the screen. The sound is far too loud in this game, I think. The sound's good, it's just, again it's this thing that everything should be turned at maximum level. I don't understand why. You get this a lot in live entertainment where people, doesn't sound right, they don't know quite what's wrong with it, so they go, turn it up, make it louder. Okay. I believe the bomb combat tip stays up for quite a while now, because I think I have to actually slash one before that disappears. I've done the knock. And it's one of those things where you got that health bar at the bottom, but actually you don't, because it's only about 5 or 6 hits. They'd have done far better. I sound like I'm knocking a bit. I kind of am, really. Yeah, it's a free game, you know, you can't argue too much with that. To me, these games are always much more fun if you have someone to play along with. Playing these games on your own always just seems a bit... Why would you want to, really, to be honest? I don't know if you go through it, whether there's things that tie into the Final Fantasy 15 world, so maybe some of those names are making sense to those of you who played the game. I don't know, I presume there's other locales for you to... I say explore, explore's not really the term, is it? It's more about just bashing heads and taking names, really, isn't it? At this stage. So even though I've been doing aerial combos before, they only get around to telling us now about the aerial combos. But yeah, it's the fact that it's not a multiplayer. I kind of get why it's not multiplayer. I get story-wise, like that makes sense. I kind of even get from a programming point of view why they picked it that way. It just seems like something of a wasted opportunity, really. I do like that move, actually. See, I don't know whether I just tapping the buttons too hard to be able to consistently do it, but that was always a much more useful term. Noctis is going, you hit them in the air! It's like, He's making the story up, kid. You asked him to exaggerate. He is exaggerating. For dramatic effect. Bang. I've no idea how long this game is. So I don't know how long it would take you to play. It's certainly a bit of a divertisement from the kind of main Final Fantasies. But yeah, I always found with these games you needed somebody else to play alongside. And to kind of keep your enthusiasm up, to be honest. Otherwise, it all just ends up being a bit samey. You have these consistently getting these bad guys coming in, they make their way towards you. Because they don't want to overwhelm you too much, you see the guy at the top sort of pausing. Because they don't want you to be too overwhelmed, they want you to think you're going to be overwhelmed. So it's... I honestly can't really recommend this game, I have to say. Like I say, it's free, so it's easy. It's a fairly small download, so it's quite easy to download and check and see what you think of it. There you go. Use a shield bash to break their guard, so I didn't need to go for those 20 pages at all. I could just play straight through the game, and it would have told me how to do anyway, which is fine. It may tie into the game if you like fighting games. It's certainly a bit of a, you know, they've taken the fairly limited input and made it a bit more enjoyable. I don't really get much far into it to see how the magic plays or how the companion attacks work or the armor go works. So I'm sure that might have been, I presume I mispronounced that right, I have no idea. So I'm sure there's more to go on afterwards, but on this first time playthrough, I'm not convinced by it. I don't have any particular need to come back to it. This stage, this little bit here just struck me, even as they were coming on. As I was playing, I was going, why are they coming on? It's just more bad guys for the sake of more bad guys. And also the point at which I actually could do with some health, that nothing is dropping health now. So this has been A King's Tale, Final Fantasy 15. Available if you want it to anyone on Xbox Live Marketplace. It's been a thing. So thank you all very much for watching. And oh, they got you. And of course, because it's a story, they bring you back. Time-honoured tradition. Here we are. But yes, so thank you all very much for watching. This has been A King's Tale Final Fantasy 15, available for free now. What you see is pretty much what you get, which may or may not be what you're after. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.